Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to CSGB Season 3. It is round 4 here at Britain. You join me, Mr. B-Boy Worm, for commentary this evening. I look forward to a great race with the drivers. And let's hand over to some track information.
The 3.6 mile long Silverstone circuit is one of the longest of the season, with 18 corners in the current layout. With average lap speeds reaching around 145 miles per hour, it's also one of the quickest tracks of the year.
As you can see then, I'll bring you the results from last week's feature race. As you can see, Liam took the win, with Netsky taking second place and Eklund picking up third. Kazac's not far behind in fourth position. The two Mercedes picked up fifth and sixth. Jay Wizzy picked up seventh. The two McLarens picked up eighth and ninth after a great drive from Jack Prentice picking up driver of the day. The two Ferraris followed in 10th and 11th. Ben Vesey, Mr. Rayman himself, took 12th. Tribe took 13th. And Hindle took 14th. Two cars were one lap behind. That was YOLO and Vapor Cobalt. And then, of course, the did not finishes of Dovey, Oscar, and Dion Okoro, also known as IMAGs, after his disqualification due to lack of fuel production. But we now have last week's sprint race results. And the classification here, after penalties and disqualifications, Rainman himself took the win. Luke Hindle took second position and Eklund behind him in third place. After penalty deduction, that left Jay Wizzy in fourth and Vapor Cobalt just behind in fifth. Bowers took sixth after receiving a penalty with his teammate just behind him. Liam dropped to eighth. Netsky only could pick up 9 points. And then we had Oscar, Vapor Trench and Roymsey, followed by YOLO. The rest of the cars did not finish, and Liam took the fastest lap point. But it's now time for qualifying, and let's see what the drivers can do. Let me set this up for you and see what we can get going then. We have people on different types of tyre. Who is the first person out? It is a Racing Point. Here we have, is it Jay Wizzy? Nope, that means it's IMAX then, to bring us the first lap here at Britain on his out lap on the medium tyres. So going for the reverse strategy and see what he can do here around Britain Silverstone circuit. Few yellow flags flickering, but he will start his lap now on the medium tyres. The Racing Point driver, he throws it into turn one, easily flats here, of course, with both compounds of tyre. I believe there is a car out in front of him. I'm not sure that's just come out, but no, it is. He's just on an out lap. So the only first flyer here, we have a good train of cars. An easy soft medium or medium soft strategy here tonight. Hopefully the drivers can pick up where they left off from last week after a brilliant race around Spain. As he brings it up now towards Cops. Should be easy flat if he can get it right. Past the old start finish straight and keeps it valid there. It's very tight as he comes up to Maggots and Beckett's now. Down 2 gears there, keeps it on the inside. As he's now going to have a car in front of him. It will be Rainman, so he's going to give him a tow by accident. He's going to use every bit he can get and fly now down to Stowe, where he whips it round, changes down the gears to get that turn in before the last couple of corners here. We have cars right behind him, so it will be out interesting. But Tribe has retired. I'm not sure if he had a qualifying ban or not. I'm not entirely sure. But the first lap will be completed by IMAX here with a 1:25. Who's going to jump in behind? James Duffy, of course, on the softer compound. Only half a tenth quicker. So nothing too incredible. And Rappel, who's stepping in today, has now put himself on the front of the grid with a 1:24.6, so a great lap time from him. Bowers is picking up the 5th position, and the Williams boys sandwich him as Silly Sligo, who we haven't seen for a while as he has been suffering with the dreaded coronavirus, has put himself back on top where he believes he can challenge. So a good lap from him. We have a Ferrari of Noah Jones, I believe, who will be coming up to the final few corners now, as Netsky goes pole with a 23.9, setting the early pace as we expect, as the drift comes on from Noah Jones there as he now rounds the final corner and puts his car above his teammate on the medium tyres, and a 1:26.0. The Haas coming to the line now will be PXTR Dax, who puts it in 7th place. He is also filling in today. Another, is that Jack Prentice, who has just crossed the line? He is going for a flying lap. CSGB Rainman puts it nowhere because he hasn't put a lap in yet. We are still waiting for the few early drivers to put some laps in. But at the moment, we have nothing particularly going on. Still says James Duffy set the fastest lap, but that is not right. Netsky, who is currently the leader of the championship, as you'd expect, is top of the qualifying tables, looking for his 3rd championship in a row. But Britain can throw up a lot of racing, a lot of battles. 65% of this circuit is spent at full throttle in dry conditions. As we see a Ferrari go out of the way, Noah Jones just before Cops. And Dax will follow suit as Prentice now flies toward Magnussen Beckett's at full throttle. And all the way through, down to 7th gear, and then 6th, maybe 5th. No, he opts for 6th from the exit. Takes a bit of grass there, which he can do, and beams it all the way to the outside. Hoping for a good lap for himself here, as we now have a lot of cars in the pits after completing their first run. But Prentice now coming to the line, still valid, which he hopes to do, and he's a little bit wide there in entry, but breaks down hard, opts to stay in 3rd gear to keep the exit speed up. 4th and now 5th, and now he's going to come around the final corner and put his car 4th place, so I'm sure he'll be very happy with that. A 1:25 dead from the McLaren, and a top lap from him. As we now have a lot of cars pulling into the pit lane. We now have a Haas out though. That will be Waitsy, who is also joining today. So this will be his 1st race as well. Nice to see a few new faces, as we do have a few absentees this evening. But I will not run you through them, as there are too many of them. I can't really think off the top of my head who exactly is missing from which car. So we'll take him with a pinch of salt. And the outlap is about to be completed, and we'll stay on board with the new Haas driver. I must say it's a beautiful day here at the Silverstone circuit. We do have the Haas, who is closely followed by Silly Sly Guy here, who is on an outlap, so not something to worry about there. But that is a purple sector 1 for the Haas driver, so it's looking quick from him so far. We're picking up the pace, of course. We have a car that's come out in front of him here. That will be the Racing Point, which will be getting out the way. Yep, as you can see there, and a Renault also slots past. Through Cops then at top speed, and into Magnussen Beckett's. A nice tricky section, but beautiful to drive if you can get it right. He's a little bit just off the apex there, so it might not be a purple sector 2. Well, it is. Well, he's blown me out of the water. Ignore me. He must have carried a lot of speed through there, and it's nice and clean from him. The angle given wasn't the best from the game, but he keeps it valid there. Took a lot of curb on the entrance and exit, which you are supposed to do. And here he comes then up to the final 2 corners. Very easy to drop the back end out of this corner, and he puts it only in 10th position, so maybe the purple sectors were a glitch, but it is what it is. As Silly Sly Guy now starts a lap. Do we have anyone else on a flyer? Silly Sly Guy is now. James Dovey has set purple sectors, so we'll stay on board with him. There's a purple sector 1 from himself. M. Pricey has put himself on the grid. Haas are currently in 10th and 11th. And Ferrari are currently both on outlaps. Kazakhs is at the back of the grid with a 137 dead. 137 dead, 137.8, and he's at the back as we have 4 cars yet to set a lap. Both the Mercedes, Rayman and Jay Wizzy. But James Dovey now coming up to Stowe, past the pit lane entrance, and opts for a late break, which is exactly what you need to do. Everyone keeping it into 3rd gear and short shifting up to 4th on the exit, which is probably the quickest way to do it. And James does improve by 3 tenths, but does not. He does put himself above Jay Prentice by 3 tenths. So that improvement gets him up 1 position, and I'm sure he'll be very happy with that. But James knows he doesn't need to worry about his qualifying pace, because he's got that in the bag. It's his race pace he needs to sort out. Does the Englishman here at his home circuit. We have a racing point coming to the line. That's not IMAX, that will be Jay Wizzy, who has stuck it in 5th position and drops Jay Prentice down another place. We have a Ferrari now. Is this Noah Jones or is it Bowers? It will be Noah Jones starting a lap, but Bowers is on a flying lap as he comes now to the second to last turn. Fuel light flashing, so he's obviously set it low, and here he comes then to the line. It is a 7 tenths improvement, but not much of an improvement on the scoreboard. As we see a Jay Prentice about to start a lap. Do we have anyone coming to line? It's a Mercedes, and that's just starting the lap as well. Who else have we got here? We have... is it Netsky coming to line? It will be Netsky coming to line. Here we go then. Crosses the line, a 1.6 tenths improvement, extends his lead at the top of the table. 123.7 as Oscar jumps himself into 3rd place right behind. 5.5 tenth improvement. 3rd place for him. Mr. Consistent so far this season, Oscar. And, yeah. Actually, no. That would be his teammate, Eklund, who's been very consistent. We have a Williams round the final corner. Oscar struggled a lot in the last feature race. Who now do we have on laps? It would be Jay Wizzy, invalidated. CSGB Rayman, not invalidated, leading the train. So we'll stay on board with him. Still 2 drivers yet to settle lap, so that'll be the Mercedes. Kazakh's has gone 3rd place, so I missed that, sorry. 124.1, so it's very close there between 2nd and 3rd. And Rayman's not happy with that, and goes into the pit lane. Prentice has invalidated. We have a Mercedes coming to the line to set his first lap, and that will be Carl and Rob putting himself in 9th place. We now have a Haas as well. That will be Dax, and he improves as well and puts the car up into 14th, filling in today. We now have Netsky's on an in lap, as is Eklund and Oscar. We have 2 Williams flying round Maggots, coming round Stowe. He's not on a lap. The other one will be Vapor Cobble, who also isn't on a lap. Next up is the Mercedes on an out. That will be Vapor Trench. So we'll stay on board with Vapor Trench and see how he can take us around the lap. See if he can set his first lap time here this evening. The only car not to, as we see the Mercedes looking absolutely magnificent in all its glory. The new black livery shining here at Silverstone, just like it did in the real life F1, with only 3 wheels, as you remember. Purple Sector 1, so a good start from Vapor Trench. Looking quick, as with 4 minutes remaining, the drivers will be getting ready for their final runs of qualifying. Vapor Trench, if he invalidates, will maybe be able to get in and out for 1 more lap. Just about keeps it on the circuit there as he ploughs towards Maggots and Beckett's, and then now through Chapel. And it looks like he's flying through here, keeping it all on the apexes. And it's another good sector from him. Yellow flags are flashing. It's a purple sector too. I don't hope this isn't the glitch again, but the Mercedes is also there for him. Colin Robb, that is atrocious from the pair of them. That is going to need some explaining. The teammates have come together in what is a clearly lapse of concentration. I'm not sure what Colin Robb was doing. Absolutely parked there. But unfortunately, that is an awful incident. And them two will be having words with each other, I'm sure, because that was absolutely terrible. But as we see Rappel come to the line, it puts it 4th place, a 1.6 improvement for him. Those Mercedes, I still can't believe what just happened. That was absolutely terrible. Bowers is on an out lap, just setting himself up. Noah Jones is also on an out lap. There is a Renault going fairly quickly through Cop, sorry. And it seems to me like he is on a fast lap. It will be M. Pricey. Let's see what he can do. Opens the DRS wing, as you can see, flying down the hangar straight, using every bit of bubbles. Did not make the same mistake the Mercedes made and collide down there. That was absolutely horrific. Big accident. We have Hijack Gaming here for Magsy and Jay Wizzy. Rooting for you boys. It's good to see some fans in the chat. Bring some friends along as M. Pricey improves by 8.5 tenths. Sticks himself 7th place. So a very good job there from the man filling in. As we now have both Ferraris. That will be the Ferrari of Bowers, who is starting his lap. So stay on board with your F2 commentator for tomorrow evening. But tonight, he's a driver. And will be trying his best to put his car as high up on that grid as he can. The Ferrari boys struggling here at the minute, down in 17th and 18th place, as we have yellow flags out of Luffield. That's just drivers on their out laps. As Noah Jones just got improved, he has got to 15th place. So takes himself and puts a Ferrari sandwich on their Hasses. We have more yellow flags around the pit lane, so it's all getting busy on track at the moment as the drivers go out to set their final laps. People need to avoid each other, as we've already seen one accident on what is a very strange place to have an accident. Of all the corners here at Britain, they did it on the Hangar Straight. Too many names for me to remember, but I hope by the feature race I may have remembered. But here we go. Here we have Bowers coming to the line. Will he improve? He hasn't pulled out the lap. I'm not sure he can afford to pull out the lap. Bowers come around the final corner now. Puts in a 125 dead. Puts him to 40th place. Nearly a whole second improvement. So good from him. We now have a McLaren on the lap. Jay Prentice on his out lap. So we will stick with Noah Jones, who I do believe is on an... He's done his lap, so it will be Eklund or Oscar to start the next lap. It will be at Oscar Sandblom, and we'll stay on board with him. As M. Pricey has called it today, along with Triby and Vapor Trench, who will be starting for the back, as he never got set a lap. Unfortunate for him, but fortunately for the other Mercedes, Colin Robb, he got away with one there. Kazakhs is on a flying lap though, I've missed that. Vapor Cobalt is just ahead of him. 1.1 tenths down, probably giving his team a little bit of a toe there, but he may not go to complete this lap unless he can pick up a few tenths of a second here. Vapor Cobalt then, 8th position currently. If he can improve his time by a tenth or two, he will jump up the leaderboard, and he doesn't, so unfortunately no improvement for him. Kazakhs jumps to second though, just missed that, sorry about that one. And Kazakhs goes to second place with a 124 on the absolute dot. So a good lap from him as a Mercedes has spun round again. That's Colin Robb. So Mercedes in the wars at Silverstone. He's called it a day. Oscar. Rappel. Not Rappel. It will be Jay Prentice then next to the line. 3 tenths up and, well, that's not the validation, but it's definitely going to slow him down. Somehow keeps that valid after going through the corner. Maybe because of the letting go of the accelerator pedal, and Jay Prentice coming to the line, improved by 1.4 tenths, put him up position, but he must have lost a lot of time, as that's not Jay Wizzy, that is IMAX crossing the line, and he does improve. Rayman, was that Rayman crossing the line? No, it's not, but he won't be far behind the pair in front of him. Jay Wizzy is followed closely by a Red Bull, that would be James Dovey. IMAX is now in 4th place. Jay Wizzy's coming to the line then, and he improves, puts himself just above his teammate, and James Dovey also improved, so it is only up from here for some of the drivers. CSGB Rayman got up to 6th place, so lots of improvements here. And now we have the Williams coming to the line. It won't be him, it will be Vapor Cobalt. We know he's finished. I believe that's that for qualifying then. That is it for qualifying. A very, very, very competitive grid, as you can see. Only one person in the 23s, that is Netsky, and that is what you expect from Netsky. And yeah, only 5 tenths separating the top 10. And then it's very close all the way through the grid. Only 1.4 seconds separating seconds to 18th. But this is Britain. There's a lot of overtaking opportunities, a lot of pace, a lot of speed. And I'm sure there'll be plenty of action for us to get our teeth into once these drivers, or in other words, wait see, finish calls it a day. And there we go. James Dovey very happy with his result as he picks up a personal best. Now James, you've got to keep it on track, mate, for the feature race. Let me just run you through the position then. Cobalt and Carwin Rob both picking up, and Kazakh's picking up 5-place grid penalties. So that is going to change up a few things. That means Kazakhs will drop to 7th place. So your order will be Netsky, Silly Sly Guy, Jay Wizzy, IMAX, Rayman, Kazakhs, Rappel, Dovey, Eklund, Oscar, M. Pricey, Jay Prentice, Bowers, Noah Jones. Then it will be Cobalt, Carwin Rob, Dax, Waitsy, Tribe, and then Vapor Trench. Interesting to see why those drivers have got those 5-place grid penalties. But that is qualifying complete. Competitive grid as usual, as you would expect here at CSGB F1 Racing. But now it's time for the race, and I look forward to this one a lot. So it is a feature race. Hopefully it remains dry, but a bit of rain won't hurt anybody around this circuit. And it's time for the race. Sunshine is still out here at Britain, so not one cloud in the sky really. And it's looking to be a brilliant race here at Silverstone. Let me know in the comments how everyone is doing, and let me know who you expect to be a podium sitter for this race. And get your predictions in now, guys. It would be nice to hear from you in the chat. Have a bit of interaction with you, as I am on my own. It's always nice to see some voices in the chat. Please make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you are new. It means a lot here at CSGB. We want to grow, we want to get bigger, and we want to bring a lot of attention to us. So obviously here at CSGB we have the fuel regulation limits. It'll be 55 kilograms maximum for the feature race, followed by a reverse grid sprint race. That only allows 27.5 kilograms of fuel, so fuel management is very key here for the drivers here in CSGB. That is for both divisions, that's for F1 and F2. We did have a few disqualifications last week due to the random fuel checks and people not being able to submit the correct footage. So as you see them waiting, they are waiting for CSGB Rayman to ready up, and he will indicate that time is up and everyone must ready up. As you see there, 30 seconds now for the drivers to complete their setups, complete their strategies, and complete their fuel, ready for today's race. I hope you're doing well, YOLO, mate. You know, it's a tough time and you know, things happen, but just keep strong, keep trying to be as positive as you can, and you know, just stick to things that you enjoy. That's the main thing, I think, especially in the current climate. Keep yourself occupied. That's what I like to do, and that's why I do this commentating. That's why people do the racing, I'm sure. But we're about to start our formation lap. Netski will lead the way. This fastest lap thing at the bottom is really, really irritating. I don't want that there. We want interval, and then we'll go on to tyres. So we will run you through this on the formation lap. So everyone in the top 10, of course, picking the soft compound. As you can see, soft medium is the fastest strategy. Hard pretty much can go all the way. So if someone does have an instant lap 1, needs a new wing, the hard tyres will do all 25 to 26 laps. Medium runners then. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 medium runners. That is M. Pricey in 11th, Noah Jones and Dax, as well as Waitsy. So both Haas drivers choosing the alternative strategy. That may cause a few fights for the pit lane. And Tribe and Vapor Trench also choosing the medium tyres. Everyone else going soft here at the British Grand Prix. Racing Point are in a very, very, very good place for the constructors at the minute. Looking to improve on their start they've made. Two drivers that have both had a win, I believe, but I think IMAX may have got his taken away last week. AlphaTauri also in a very good position between 1st and 5th. Looking through the grid, Eklund and Oscar inseparable there in the middle of the pack. Kazakh's not far ahead. We may see some more battling between Kazakhs and Eklund. And James Dovey sat in 8th place, looking to score some points this season for the first, I want to say for the first time, as he has struggled. I may be wrong in that case. I believe it is for the first time. But yeah, we're now coming to the line to get ready for lights out here around Silverstone. Round 4 of Season 3. City Sly Guy's got the inside line. Will he be able to attack? It'll be interesting to see. As we get ready for lights out, as the back of the cars join the back of the grid, it'll be Netski in P1, followed by Silly Sly Guy, and then row 2 is a Racing Point lockout. As we now get ready to hear those engines revving. So the lights are going, the clutches are engaged, you can see the revs there, and we're underway here at Silverstone. There seems that Silly Slide Guy gets a much better start and reaps into the lead down the inside. And the contact already, it looks a little bit laggy, but he seems to get the job done, and that will be Silly Slide Guy into the lead. After turn 1, gets ahead of Netski. Netski does struggle off the start, it does seem, but he will pull it back. Do not worry about that. Netski's already... it's a glitch. I don't know what's going on there. James Dovey, I don't know what's happened. There's a bit of a glitch going on. We have chopping changes everywhere, but for another race start, it is clean. We'll scroll through the grid now to see if there's any chopping and changing, any battles going on. Just as of yet, I would like the interval thing to come up to give me a hand. Vapor Cobalt is in 12th place. And it's very close. A lot of battling, side-by-side action here. As M. Pricey is looking to steal a position up the inside of Cops, but a little bit of contact, but pulls out. It's the right thing to do, and Oscar Sandblom's into the wall, somehow not lost a wing, and somehow not taken anyone out on his way. I do not exactly know what happened there. We have a yellow flag. Do we have any safety cars or virtual safety cars? No, we don't. So a bit of contact there in the midfield, and Oscar's gone flying to the wall. Somehow kept his wheels intact, which means he will be get another bite at the cherry. I'm sure he would have loved the safety car to come out there. But it's an interesting start. Only one accident so far. And that is that. Silly Sly Guy leads. We'll see if anyone's position changed massively here. We have a Haas into the pit lane, so that is damage for him. Mags is up 2 positions into... Silly Sly Guy's gone to... Where's Silly Sly... Oh, it's glitched again. This is really irritating. I will wait for that to reset itself before I go back to well, that's not particularly fun. We'll try and stay on board with what is going on with this timing screens. I do apologise for what you're seeing. I am seeing exactly the same as what you're seeing. I just want to get Oh, that's not going to be fun, is it? See, Sly Guy's got some engine malfunction sound. We have Pim saying he'll go Netsky, Eklund, Silly Sly Guy for the podium. I don't know where anyone is. Silly Sly Guy's got some horrible engine glitch, which is not fun. I have a lot of glitches going on. It's not ideal. You see dirt being kicked up. Hopefully at the end of the lap it will get sorted out as Netsky's going to try and make a move. Not quite just yet on Silly Sly Guy. As you see, Dax and Oscar Sandblom have gone on to the hard tyres. Lock up there from Netsky. We see quite a few of them from Netsky, but I don't think it particularly irritates his race. And here we go. Finally, the standings have reset themselves. Only took the game 2 laps, but finally we're here. And there's a bit of a gap dropping back behind the front two. The 2 teammates very close to one another. As Kazakhs now looks to mount a charge at the Racing Point boys. Rappel not far behind. The medium runners slowly dropping back through the grid, which as you'd expect, we may see Boas here try and take an opportunity on the faster compound. But with DRS enabled, it's going to be very hard down the Wellington straight. And as you can see, not moves being made, but Vapor Trench has got past Triby here. And gets the move done round the outside, and a fantastic move from him. Down in 15th position. Dax also gets past Eklund. Eklund's gone to the medium tyres in the pit lane, so it's a terrible start for the Alfa Romeos. Silly Sly Guy is being occupied at the moment by Netsky at the front of the grid. Only half a second separate the boys in 3rd and 4th, and all the way back it's a bit of a train forming all the way back down to, well, it continues and continues and continues all the way down to around the Haas of Waitsea. So any mistake here could cause good damage, but it's a train all the way around, as you'd expect at Britain. Very fast circuit. DRS can mean a lot here. But as you see, not many close battles at the minute. Rappel is close to Kazakhs though. We'll stay on board with this for now. You see the front 2 getting close again. Will Netsky be able to make a move down the Wellington straight? You have DRS. It pulls to the inside and seems to pass quite easily there on the Renault. And that's P1 for Netsky, back in the lead after losing it on lap number 1. And that's Silly Sly Guy back into 2nd. And the Racing Points are sticking it out in 3rd and 4th. If they stayed there, I'm sure they'll be extremely happy. Yeah, Sly Guy's engine sound is going to be very irritating. I don't know exactly what's happened, if he reset the track during qualifying or something like that. That's normally what causes the glitch. But Kazakhs is going to get involved here on the Racing Points into Nagas and Beckett's. Flings it wide. Trying to get the exit. Looks like he might have compromised that slightly. And we may see the Racing Points fighting here. But it looks like Kazakhs got a better straight line speed. He is burning his ERS. Does defensive, does Jay Wizzy. And that means he'll keep the position. A little bit of a late movement across. But nothing that's put Kazakhs into trouble. And we see the first penalty of the evening go to Vapor Cobalt. The American driver picks up himself 3 seconds for track limits. Netsky sets the fastest lap. That may stay there for a while until the new tyre compounds go on. But at the moment, no real moves taking place. Triby also picks himself up a penalty, only 4 laps in, as, well, Kazakhs seem to lose the rear a little bit there. This camera angle's not entirely helpful, as he gets close now, does Kazakhs to the rear of Jay Wizzy. Will he try and fling it around the outside here of turn number 7? Not quite just yet. It's a long way to go yet, still at 21 or 22 laps. And the train is getting very tight with Rappel wanting a move on the Williams driver. But you will not get him into cops as he picks up a 3-second penalty on the exit. The limits are very strict on the outside there. Well, it'll be interesting to see if any moves are made in this upper to mid pack. Any slight mistake will cost anything, and penalties are going to cause a big problem as Colin Robb picks himself at 3 seconds. And so there's Pricey. It's side by side. Kaz getting close again before Stowe. But pulling out just in the nick of time before anything dangerous happened. And that's 3 seconds for Kazakhs as well. Dirty air, unsettling cars, forcing them wide. And on this track, it's going to be a penalty. Rappel now is close to the back of Kazakhs. He's going to overtake Button. I don't think he'll make a move into there, but he's waiting just to try and unsettle the Williams driver. Both these drivers do have penalties at the minute, so they'll be hoping to keep it clean and make sure other drivers do pick up the penalties as well. That Silly Slyguard Renault noise is really, really irritating. We do see Silly Slyguard though getting close at the front. Beautiful camera angle from the helicam. Shows him trying to go around the outside. But to no avail. As Netsky keeps the lead so far. The unmovable wall at times in the last 3 seasons. It's been challenged in recent weeks. And looks like he's going to be challenged again here. Both these drivers have very, very good pace. And now coming out to Chapel. Who's going to get the better exit? Down the hanger straight then. Is he going to make a move into Stowe? He's going to, I tell you. There's a yellow flag behind. That's a Renault round. That's M. Pricey. But Silly Slyguard makes a brilliant move round Stowe. And regains the lead of the British Grand Prix. A fantastic move. Netsky giving him all the respect in the world. And letting him through. I'm not entirely sure what happened back there with the other Renault. Oh my goodness me, that noise is horrendous. But Rappel's gone round as well by the looks of things. Might have been good contact or a bit too early on the throttle, but he's dropped down to 14th place. And Jay Prentice now making a move on James Dovey round turn 1. The Rebel is still there just about, but he's lost another position to Vapor Cobalt. I did miss that as well. It's all action all over the place. Damage for a few cars. Rappel and M. Pricey round the pair of them in the space of 2 or 3 corners. People getting a little bit snatchy at the moves at the minute. But Prentice has moved himself up into 7th position, so he's moving up as well. And Rainman also got in. Kazakhs has snuck between the racing points at some point between the action. And he's now going to put pressure under the leading car of IMAX. Kazakhs knows he needs to put a move on though. He needs to get a shift on because he does have the penalty as we currently speak. So from Troy backwards, we do a bit of a gap between some of the cars. That is due to pitting, but that will catch up with itself at some point. Some drivers gone to the hard tyres, of course, as you'd expect. Only Eklund to go on to the mediums, so I doubt they'll make it to the end. No move for Kazakhs as of yet. He'll be trying to keep things as simple as he can. We have a DRS gap now between 7th and 6th. So that will be Jay Prentice just trying to push a little bit to try and get back in the back of the train. Yeah, but the drivers keeping it clean, taking advantage of mistakes and trying their very, very best to keep the cars where they need to be. And that is on the track. Fight for the lead, still 3 attempts, and I imagine this will go on for a very long time. A pit stop, an undercut, an overcut may cause the race win to be settled, and I can't stay on board with Silly Slyguard. I do apologise, but I am not having my ears blown off, or I do not want your ears to be blown off by his 7th gear glitch, which is fantastic. Jay Wizzy is the closest man to making a move at the minute. The battle for the last podium place is going to be heating up. Will Kazakhs look to get the run down the hanger straight? He will have DRS. We have a car around as a Haas. That will be Dax. He's round, and Haas' day goes from bad to worse. But Eklund and Oscar will take that with open arms. Obviously, no ghosting on here at CSGB. So any instances that do happen on track will need to be avoided by the drivers. As you saw, as Vapor Cobalt, as Jay Prentice has spun the car around, has he? No, he's gone to the pit lane early, so he's split lap 7. As so has James Dovey. So they're into the pit lane, and that means they're going for the undercut on the cars ahead of them, hoping for some kind of incident to happen and hoping that they can get a good outlap to try and get the undercut done. Let's put the pressure though on this train of drivers. They will all have DRS of course, which may help. And then them to get a little bit of a gap. No moves really being made as of yet, as Oscar picks up a 3-second penalty. I do expect a lot of chopping, changing between 3rd, 4th and 5th. Rayman will take advantage of any mistakes. He normally does. And no penalties for him at the moment mean he's in a very good place, as is Jay Wizzy. Kazakh sitting dangerously on that 3-second penalty. But Netsky's getting close. Netsky's getting close. Netsky's gone past. And down the hanger straight again. These two chop and change. And that's another position up for Netsky. As he now dives to the pit lane, and City Sly Guy does the opposite, as you'd expect. So Netsky into the pit lane after making a move. May have slowed them both down a little bit, but there are 7.4 seconds into the lead. Who else dives into pit lanes then? Be interesting to see here. We have a Williams in, so that'll be Vapor Cobalt looking for his pit stop onto the mediums. As is Netsky now on his looking for his tyre. So there are only 2 cars to pit this lap. So a lot more drivers going longer on the softs. Still feel they've probably got the right amount of grip left in them for 1 or 2 more laps. And at the moment, City Sly Guy's got a lot of space to get a good in-lap in. A lot of time as Kazakh puts an IMAX under pressure. He's looking around the outside here. And it's going to look like it's kind of the outside's going to turn to the inside, and it does. And Kazakh moves up. Does he? Yes, he does, into 2nd position. And that's a good move from the Williams driver. The Finn flying through turn at number 7. And that is a move done for the Williams driver. And now he will want to try and get away from IMAX as quickly as he can. But he knows he's got pit stops approaching, so they don't want to slow each other down just as much yet. As we see Jay Prentice getting past Cobalt. Waitsy picks up 3 seconds. But was a little bit off the back of the front pack in a minute. Rayman's getting close, not close enough on the racing point. Who's coming to the pit lane this time? Pretty much everyone. Jay Wizzy stays out as he is the rear car of the racing point pair. I did say at the beginning this may cause a bit of a stir, but it does mean he will take the lead of the Grand Prix. City Sly Guy is also in the pit lane, so it'll be interesting to see where Netsky comes out. We'll scroll through to him. Let's come around the final 2 corners then. Is Netsky. So has he got the move done? Will he be able to do the undercut? It goes purple in sector 3, so he's pushing the car to the absolute limits. Where is the Renault? They're side by side. It's going to be very close on the exit. But Netsky keeps the position that he stole just before the pit lane. But the pit lane hasn't separated them by much. And they're up and out and on to the final stretch of this race. The pits are done for every car bar 2. But City Sly Guy's going down the inside and makes a great move into Brooklyn and regains the lead. Well, I say the lead, I mean the net lead, of course. Currently still 7 cars yet to pit. I'm sure they won't be too far behind one another as we see Vapor Trench looking to take a move. We have a yellow flag. A Haas is round again. That will be Dax, who is struggling for grip out there, it seems. Yellow flag still going, and that doesn't mean anything. Jay Wizzy's got 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. Boas follows him in. So the last remaining 2 soft runners into the pit lane. And that will be no more soft tyres for any of the drivers unless we get a late safety car. Noah Jones then in the lead of the Grand Prix. Still got a pit stop to do with the medium runners going long, of course, as you would expect, to come back onto those soft tyres later on. Noah Jones, Vapor Trench could be in a good position here. Got a decent gap to the cars behind them. Netsky and City Sly Guy up into 6th and 7th. James Duffy up into 10th as we see the cars coming out the pit lane now, so it's going to get a bit clustery in here. we see Wizzy down the inside of Prentice and takes that position back. Straight out the pit lane and onto his next target, James Duffy. So James Duffy's done a brilliant undercut here. The Racing Point pair is going to be very close into turn. Oh, that's a bit of contact there between Vapor, Cobalt and Rayman. That means Cobalt has gone round. It was always going to happen with that many cars going to that very tight corner. Was that ring damage for Rayman? No. Yes, it was. You see end plate missing. So just after a pit stop, the last thing you want is wing damage. Still got yellow flags. The car has been stopped for a while. That is Vapor Cobalt. No safety car or virtual safety car for the cars on track. But James Duffy's reeling in then the Haas with M. Pricey right up behind him. This is battle. Tribe, sorry. This is the battle for the long runners, medium starters. And Silly Sligo, you can see, and Netsky really not far behind the front runners at the moment, who've still got a pit stop to do. So their pace is absolutely electric, almost closing to within a pit stop of the cars. And they've pulled that back quite brilliantly as Rayman goes into pit lane again. Probably put on a new set of medium tyres. And with that wing damage, you wouldn't expect anything else. Is IMAG under pressure from behind? No, he's not. So here we come then down the Wellington straight. Is he going to make a move, IMAX? He has DRS. He's just not close enough. Not using his DRS at the minute. Is James Duffy going to be put under attack by the other Racing Point? No, he's not. No moves then at the minute. Netsky very close to see Sly Guy as you'd expect. Sly Guy a little bit laggy. But with the traffic in front of them, slow them down. They've got to navigate 3 cars there who are also fighting for track position. So this could be interesting. Kazakhs, a load of cars having penalties in a minute, so struggling to keep the cars under control when on the track with the strict limits here. Netsy's got past Silly Sligo there, down into Stowe, and needs to chop and change at Stowe for the 4th time this race. As Jay Wizzy also gets past Dovey to rejoin his teammate in the points. Dovey will, I'm sure, be eager to get that place back. As you can see, Netsky sets the fastest lap of the race. Try be getting close to Waitsy. Not close enough to make a move though. And the front pairing. Oh, it's very tight in there. Netsky's going to go and make a move. He wants to get through the traffic as quickly as he can. See, Sly Guy's not making it easy for him. So, a race at the moment between 3rd, 4th and 5th and 6th and 7th. Netsky wants to get through the traffic. M. Pricey, it doesn't have to yield that position, but he will be letting his teammate through. And this is where the real action happens then. Netsky trying to weave his way through the traffic as quickly as he can. See, Sly Guy would just be as quick to try and get through as much as he can as well. Tribe doesn't want to hold them up. Netsky may get through then at Cops before See Sly Guy. Tribe's not going to make it easy for him. Takes a little bit of understeer. And that lets both cars through. But See Sly Guy here's got to try and make a move into Maggots. And he does. His contact between the 2 cars. They keep each other just enough room. So a great move there, but corner cutting. And 3 seconds for Silly Sly Guy. So eagerness to get the move done has ended in him getting a 3-second penalty. And that may just be the decider in this race. We know how clean Netsky is. And Pricey fighting with Tribe back as these two had to yield positions to try and keep their pace to let the faster car through. He dives into the pit lane, both of them. So trying to see a fake. And both of them reading each other. And both into the pit lane for the medium runners. Noah Jones also dived in as well. Silly Sly Guy currently in the net lead. Vapor Trench way out on his own. So he's in a good position at the moment for a nice in-lap if he decides to do that this time around. As you can see, the scoreboard, leaderboard, whatever you want to call it, is resetting itself. As we see the pit lanes. The pit's starting to happen. Netsky now wanting to pull away. The Haas trying to get involved, but he can't. Pulls out the way, but he knows he's on the alternative strategy. And lets the battle for the lead commence even further. 15 laps into the race, and they're still going strong, still battling. Big respect to Sly Guy, who has been very ill. And this is his return race after that illness. And he's put on a great show. Hopefully he can keep it all the way up until the last lap and into the sprint race as well. We do have a few absentees for the sprint race. But hopefully that won't cause too many problems. We'll still have a great race. Whereas Seaside Guy now is going to try and make a move. Is he? No, I think he's just going to stick behind. He might be close enough though. He's going to send it. You know he will. They might as well. Having a good fight here, side by side through Stowe. Netsky keeps the lead. Very close on each other's backs. Netsky locks up. But that is a very nice camera angle as we ride the bumps with the Renault. And these two putting on a show yet again as Vapor Trench goes to the pit lane. So, everyone bar Waitsy now into the pits as he's going long. Maybe hoping for a safety car of sorts to try and get his pit stop in. Maybe still a few positions. But the field slowly resetting itself. So, Waitsy in third. IMAX is currently in fourth. Kazakhs is the sandwich filling in the Racing Point sandwich with Jay Wizzy in sixth. These two are very close. Will he try and make a move on IMAX? They've all got penalties now, these lots, so it's a battle for position as Dax picks up a penalty. Dovey currently in a nice position here to reap the rewards from driving nice and cleanly. No penalty so far for him. He's made it 16 laps into the race. I do not want to curse him, so I'll go off him now quickly. And soft runners of Noah Jones and Vapor Trench in great positions here on the soft compound. They're going to be a lot faster than the cars in front. And they've done a reverse strategy and they've made it work for them. So they're in the points on fresh soft tyres with 10 laps to go. Keep an eye on these lot here as Carwin Rob puts Jay Prentice under pressure. But misses his breakdown altogether. That may allow Bowers through round the inside of Chapel. You bet he will. Bit of bashing. Nothing wrong with that. And he takes the position. Side by side now, though, is Carwin Rob and Bowers. It's going to be side to side into Stowe. Bowers later on the brakes and Braver into the corner and keeps the position now as we see Waitsy into the pits. So we will get an idea of the final standings and the final few lap race to watch as that is pit stops complete for all drivers. And Waitsy drops down, which means drivers will pick up a few positions, and Seaside Guy's going for a move down the Wellington Straight and gets it done very easily. Sets a purple sector 1 in the process. And another chop and change at the front. Seaside Guy knows he's got to pull away from Netsky, but Netsky's got much superior ERS to try and hold him off for the time being. Kazakhs and IMAX getting close. You can see Kazakhs fighting with the steering wheel just to try and keep the back end under control. Rainman takes the fastest lap down on the soft tyres. He is flying down in 19th place. Just trying to upset the field, but he picks up a penalty in the process of doing that. I'm guessing that was over the turn number 1. Vapor Trench also picks up a penalty. It's going to be close here with Kazakhs and IMAX. I'm sure Kazakhs, if he can get the exit, will get the move down into Stowe or even down the Hangar Straight. Yep, he's going ERS. Don't seem like IMAX is going to fight it too hard. He doesn't. And Williams up into P3. And that is a podium position at the moment. Vapor Trench also getting past Noah Jones on the same turn. Same move, just a little bit further back. Still, Racing Point in a very good position here for points. James Dovey will know they have penalties. He can see that on his screen. Just for now, we'll have a look at the penalties people currently have. Well, that's 8 seconds for IMAX, so that's a lot of penalties. 5 seconds for Jay Wizzy. That was for speeding in the pit lane, I think. Kazakhs is in a very good position here to hold the podium place. No, James Dovey will be rubbing his hands together if he can close the gap. Looks like he's doing that. But he needs to get a little bit closer than he is if he wants the podium at the minute. But anything can happen with 6, 8 laps, 9 laps to go here. Price, he gets him past Rappel down at the back of the grid. Netsky and Seaside Guy so close yet again. Netsky has the DRS. Seaside Guy's in the middle of the track. He drops the inside, leaves enough room around the outside for Netsky, but Netsky's not going to send it just yet. Because there's no point with this long left. If he's that close then, he'll be that close later on as well. But some good racing going on between two. Good patience. James Dovey very close to the back of Jay Wizzy then. Currently sat in 6th place. James knows he doesn't need to send anything too drastic because IMAX has 8 seconds worth. Jay Wizzy has 5, and at the moment he's in a beautiful position to pick up 4th place as Rappel and Pricey chop and change again. Let's go for the grid. Noah Jones just interested to try and get that position back on his fellow soft runner. Jay Prentice under pressure from Kyle and Rob, and Bowers looking to try and sneak into the points. But no one really close enough yet to make a move, as Netsky is lunging, as I saw on the mini-map, but not lunging enough to retain the lead of the race. But James Dovey has got past Jay Wizzy there. Caught me napping. He caught Jay Wizzy napping. And he's not waiting around then. He wants to try and push up and try and get that podium for himself. But I'll tell you what, I think Jay Wizzy will try and fight him as hard as he can because he wants to get as many points for his teammate as he can. He will not want his team to lose points. He will try and fight James, I'm sure, as hard as he can. But James can take it easy, take it simple. And at the moment, that's what he's doing, taking his chances. As Vapor Trench is getting close then to Jay Wizzy on the exit of Chapel. A little bit twitch on the exit, not much ERS in hand. Neither it is for Jay Wizzy. So neither car's close enough to make a move there. Tryby moving his way up again. Good move there by the looks of things through Maggers and Beckett's. Pricey's going to have the superior exit. Again, not much ERS in hand. Both very close to each other. Tryby holding the outside. Means Pricey can go down the inside. Contact's made. It's always going to happen to Stowe if you don't leave enough space for each other. And Tryby's coming back on dangerously. And they nearly collide. And somehow they get away with it. Good car control for the lads. As Netsky takes the lead of the race again down the Wellington straight. It's getting close in this midfield battle between Tryby and Pricey. We're just on that. But big gaps starting to form in the midpoint positions. 4th place slowly backing off the back of Kazakhs in 3rd. So there's a 1.7 gap now, and then 2.8 back to James. James knows about the penalties ahead. He's going to kick on if he wants a podium position. As Kazakhs only has a 3-second at the moment. It's kicking opposite between Pricey and Tryby. Let's just stay on board with this because they're providing some great racing. Well, I say great racing, some great action, I should say, more likely. Only 3 cars without a penalty on grid. That's Ekeland, Dovey and Netsky, as these two are getting close. And Pricey picks up another penalty there. Vapor Trench now through past the Racing Point. So the Racing Point struggling on those medium tyres, it seems, and the soft tyres paying off as a great gamble from these two. And Noah Jones will, what I'm sure, be on the back of him as well. Very, very surely. See what Jay Wizzy can withhold down the Wellington straight. Noah Jones then looking for a move. Down the inside. And doesn't get it done. I saw Vapor Trench there putting James Dovey under a lot of pressure. So Trench putting on a great shift on these soft compound tyres. We'll stay on board with this now, as I'm sure we'll probably see Netsky and see Slide Guy chop and change again. Very shortly, but we'll stay on board with this. Give these lot a bit of action time. As I feel like Vapor Trench may be able to make a move here on James Dovey. James Wizzy picks up another penalty. Here we go then. James Dovey has a lot more ERS in hand, but Vapor Trench is quicker, and Vapor Trench moves down the inside of Stowe and up to 5th place for Trench. Dovey knows about the penalties though. As long as he keeps it safe, he'll definitely move up from his finishing position. Good stuff there from them. Noah Jones has also got past Jay Wizzy too. Oscar picks up a penalty, so left with still only 3 drivers with clean penalty records at the minute. As we only have 4 laps left of this British Grand Prix, it's flown by, I can tell you that. Plenty of action all over the place to keep me occupied and yourselves watching. Netsky 4 attempts off the lead. He knows he's got 3-second penalty to close the gap to. so he's not in any hurry to get the move done. Big gaps forming, not many DRS opportunities. Wizzy is the closest in the top 10 bar the leading pair. We'll stay on board here. We have a little DRS train forming for 6th, 7th and 8th. Noah Jones is obviously going to have a lot of pace. A little bit twitchy there from Jay Wizzy through Cops. But nothing doing too badly at the minute. A lot of grass taken there from Noah Jones. Turning into a lawnmower for a minute. A Ferrari in real life does have the pace of a lawnmower. But in this game, of course, they are all equally paced to give the cars the drivers the fairest racing ground they can. Bowers then gets past Jay Prentice. Jay Prentice fighting back. Will he get him on the braking? It's contact. There's not much space to go too wide through there. Bowers forces his way through. Jay Prentice will want that position back. This is the battle for points, remember. I think they might have equal penalties. They do, so both on 3-second penalties here. So this is a battle for the final point. Both drivers will be eager to take that. I can tell you. As we move back up again, Jay Wizzy's just dropped off the back, and this middle pack is separating itself, socially distancing itself, if you like. Will Prentice be able to get his move back done on the Ferrari? The answer to that currently is no. Tribe and Pricey still having a great race back down the grid. I'm glad they're enjoying themselves, and it looks like another move to be made. And Pricey, if he doesn't outbrake himself, which he does slightly, but doesn't allow the switch back for Tribe, and keeps the position. Oscar into the pit lane again, so a disappointing feature race for him. He is struggling, but he's gone to the new soft tyres, so don't be surprised if you see him with the fastest lap very shortly. Netsky sitting tight in P2 behind Sly Guy, knowing that he doesn't need to make a move. Sly Guy is going nowhere ahead of him. Netsky saving up his energy for maybe a final push for the fastest lap. But there's no need to risk anything because he has the win in his pocket at a minute. As Eklund is into the pit lane, and those medium tyres just aren't going to make it to the end, it seems. And the Alfa Romeo day goes from bad to worse. Anyone close enough to making a move through here? Nope. Rayman picks up another position. Noah Jones within a second, it seems, but not close enough to make a move. We'll stay on board with the front pair, see if any action unfolds for now. As it gets close, but not close enough. See Sly Guy still in the lead, but penalties will have a part to play. Maybe we can try and force Netsky into, you know, sending it down the inside, or trying to force him wide. Try and maybe force him into a penalty. That is doable here, but you know, you don't want to be aggressive with it. But there are times where you may be able to force a fight. As Vapor Trench is now very close to the back of IMAX. He also has a penalty, but I believe it's a lot more than Trench has picked himself up. Nope, I am wrong. Trench has 11 seconds, so he's accumulated them over the last over the last few laps or so. We have 2 laps left here at Britain. Trench is just going to drop back down the grid by, well, not too many positions with the penalties that we see on your screen right now. Nothing particularly happening, but he's going to try and make a move on IMAX, is he? not a lot of ERS. And Netsky and Silly Slide Guy are going to bring us round the final turn for the second to last lap. And the last lap starts now. As you saw, Oscar set the fastest lap of the race, as I predicted earlier on. The final lap begins. I will change this to penalties, just so we can see what happens when people cross the line. Netsky keeps it clean as he will take. If he keeps it clean here, he will take his second win of the season. I think it's his second, but no silly things need to happen. Vapor Trench putting an almighty fight up here. Will he make a move down the Wellington Straight? He's thinking about it. He's going to make a move. We don't want this to end both their races. Oh, it does. He's got greedy. He's held it though. But he's also lost more positions and lost more time. And that may take him outside the points. It was always a stretch. I don't know why he's made the move. But he has. And that is him dropping down the grid again. Yeah, not ideal for the Mercedes driver. Not a bit of a great shift. The penalty to just let him down ever so slightly. Eklund now sets the fastest lap, but it's going to be got a yellow flag through Maggots and Beckett. Nothing seems to be wrong, no cars out. But Silly Slide Guy is going to bring us round the final two corners. He is going to take the win on track, but it will be Netsky who takes it from him. And Netsky first, Silly Slide Guy second. Kazakhs will be next across the line. He has 3 seconds worth, so he will keep his position. There it seems, and that is third place for Kazakhs, Mr. Consistent. IMAX will take fourth, but Duffy will jump him, and he finishes in the points. A grid drive from James Duffy. Noah Jones picks up fifth place. IMAX takes sixth, and the other racing point in seventh. Carwin Robb takes eighth, and Bowers jumps up to ninth place. So a fantastic drive from him. Jay Prentice takes the last points position, it seems. Yes, it does. Rappel 11th, and Trent drops all the way down to 12th place, out of the points. Like I said, when he made that move, it was either going to be make or break. It wasn't. Well, it's only going to be break or anything. It wasn't going to make him up any positions. All he had to do was stay patient. He may have finished inside the points, but Pricey picks up 13th. Waitsy 14th. Vapor Cobalt is in 15th. Rainman, after a disappointing outlap after on his medium tyres, picking up damage to go with the pain. He comes up in 16th. Tryby 17th. Didn't really go up or down. Had a good fight with Pricey here and there. I don't know how he's dropped down that much. Probably penalties. But Alfa Romeo's having a torrid time in 18th and 19th. And Dax bringing up the rear there with no front wing. And that is the end of the feature race. James Dovey has got points. The crowd are going wild in the chat. Carwin Robb picks up your driver of the day. We'll have a look in the final finishing standings from where people finish, and we'll let you have a vote for driver of the day in the comments. If you all want to vote for your driver of the day, as we see the podium celebrations well underway. Netsky with another bottle of champagne. He'll be spraying that everywhere, as will Silly Sly Guy, as a return to the league, a return to the race. With a podium, I'm sure he'll have a smile on his face. But here we are then. Netsky is your race winner here at Britain. Silly Sly Guy takes second after a 3-second penalty has cost him. Kazakhs takes third. James Dovey takes fourth. Noah Jones all the way from 14th to 5th, so a great race from him. IMAX takes 6th. Jay Wizzy takes 7th. Carwin Robb takes 8th. Bowers takes 9th in the points for him. Jay Prentice takes the final point position. And then the rest is follows Eklund getting the final point. But that will not mean anything, unfortunately, as that is how it stands. And I believe Noah Jones will be my driver of the day, closely followed by Dovey and Carwin Robb. I would vote for Noah Jones as my personal vote. But well done to James Dovey finishing a race, and good action between Sly Guy and Netsky. Netsky knew about the penalty. And that was that. So a very good feature race from the fellas, and a very good bit of entertainment from those involved. I need to now leave the session. It's been fun, and we will not be too far away from the sprint race. I am going to get a drink. Right, I am back. Got myself a drink. How is everyone doing in the chat? How are all the drivers doing? How is everyone who's watching doing? Hope you enjoyed the race. I'm just waiting for an invite back to the sprint race, and we'll get started very shortly with a reverse grid. Hoping for just as much action as that. It's always good to see the drivers fighting their way through the pack and see if any unexpected winners can come from it. Yeah, it should be a good race. I think one to watch for the sprint race will be Ekeland, who had a bit of a disastrous sprint race, a feature race, sorry, getting himself down at the back of the grid. But he will ensure that he will try and take advantage of being given a high position in the sprint race and take a good place as he carries on his way in this third season of CSGB racing. So like I said, Noah Jones got my vote for driver of the day. I think it was 14th up to 5th position. James Dovey also put in a great shift there. I think a few shout outs are needed for a lot of drivers. Sorry if you'd hear myself in the background there. I think for me personally, I think it's a big shout out to Sly Guy for returning and putting in a great shift to get himself back up and back onto the podium after a couple of weeks out of racing. Netsky, of course, he's so consistent. We see this every week, and he's able to put it in first place again today as we now rejoin the lobby. James, of course, finishing a race. I'm sure he'll be happy with that one. I don't see why he wouldn't be. He did a fantastic job there to keep it nice and clean, and it shows that not getting penalties in F1 2020 definitely helps out. If you can keep it clean, then you can begin to dream of a podium. Not quite there for James today, but I'm sure he'll be happy with the points. He's happy in the comments. Unfortunately, Rainman had a bit of a troubled time in the feature race, but I'm sure he'll try and put things right. He had a good start, but hopefully try and put things right in the sprint race. There's some good battles all over the field. Boa's picking up some points for his team. And McLaren also doing the same. Be good to see. We do have a few drivers dropping out for the sprint race, unfortunately, due to other commitments. So it will not be a full grid, I do not believe. But as you can see, it is 25% race distance. That means it's the sprint race, which means I should put this on. There we go. And yeah, we're getting ready. That means 27.5 kilograms of fuel for the drivers as a maximum. That's half of what they were allowed in the previous feature race. Just getting ready. We have 18 drivers or players in a lot. Is that 18 drivers? Rainman needs to select a car, but he's just trying to find some drivers to fill the space. So we've got a full team here for, let's have a look. The Mercedes boys have turned out. Now they worked their way up the field throughout the race. So they've got good potential. Unfortunately, Vapor Trench had a coming together. Carwin Rob was a little bit off the pace, but he did his job. Did Carwin Rob. Bowers and Noah Jones always there, always turn up, and they'll be fighting for points again. I'm sure they'll be around the mid of the grid. James Dovey and Tribe. James will be near the back and Tribe will be near the front, probably swapping positions there or thereabouts. The McLarens of Rappel and Prentice. Rappel filling in for Roimsey, who is missing today and did himself quite proud in his first feature race. Prentice picking up a good point as well. The Renaults of Silly Sly Guy and Mr. Pricey, Mr. MP M Pricey, or was it MP Ricey? Well, I don't know. Silly Sly Guy though, back from his COVID infection. He's back on the wheel. He's back on the pedals, and he won the race on track, but took second place with a penalty. Pricey gave us some great action there with a race with Tribe in the midfield. Netsky, of course, is your race winner, and Rainman had a bit of trouble, but these two are your current Constructors' Championship leaders and reigning champions, so looking to hopefully at some point retain that title. IMAX is currently sole remaining Racing Point driver, last week's sprint race winner, but got disqualified unfortunately for him. Eklund and Oscar, the Swedish pairing, looking for a better result in this race than the last. Dax in his debut struggled, so he'll be looking to put things right from near the front. Waitsy also the same, but a good showing from the pair of them, showing that they're capable at some paces. And Kazakhs picking up valuable points, and Vapor Cobalt also happy in the comments to pick up his first points in the feature. We have one person missing. That's a good sign. That is a Red Bull. That would be Tribe. I'm not sure if he's coming or not, but we will wait and see. I'm not entirely sure who we're waiting for. We do have a full action-packed grid. We shouldn't be far off race start now. Just waiting for the green light for the drivers to ready up. Are we going to start this race? You know, there's a high chance of rain here at Britain. Would be interesting to spice things up after a very clear race in qualifying. Always a chance of rain anywhere in Europe on F1 at 2020. The only places you don't really get rain are Bahrain and Abu Dhabi. Someone ready up. It is David Trench. He wants to get going. I also want to get going. What's the hold up? Hold up. Not entirely sure. I said it earlier, but I'll say it again. Give the stream a like. Would be much appreciated. Here we go then. We're readying up. We're waiting to go. It's time for the sprint race. Here at CSGB Season 3, Round 4. Silverstone's the destination. Great Britain is the country. It's time to get this action underway for the shortened reverse grid sprint race. Let's go. Let's see what the weather says and see if we've got anything to spice up the tarmac the drivers are about to drive on. Bit of rain. Britain's had a lot of snow in the last couple of days, but I don't think you'll see that on an F1 game just yet. Soft medium or medium soft will be the strategy again. Not one safety car or one virtual safety car that whole feature race. So that is great to see. And I don't think anyone retired from incidents or crashes either. Everyone was either retired in the pit lane, which is good to see. So clean-ish racing there from the guys. It's a little bit more cloudy here this time around, but it still looks clear and still looks like the sun is shining here on the Hamilton Straight pit lane, the brand newly named Hamilton Straight pit lane. James Dovey praying for no rain, and it seems he's got his wish as we now wait for the drivers to ready up. Rain Man obviously dictates that. As soon as you see the tick by his name, that'll be give everyone the thumbs up to go and get ready for the next race here around Silverstone. There's lots of trumpets going on in the background. They're just excited as I am. Here we go though. Oh, Jay Wizzy's disconnected. Perfect. That's just what you want. So, no rain at all, I'm hearing from certain drivers in the chat. Unfortunately, I like to see a bit of rain. I know some people don't, especially those who are behind the wheel. But as a commentator, it definitely spices things up. Jay Wizzy's back in the action, and hopefully he'll be back in his car. Hope he doesn't mess things up, any glitches or anything. As the formation lap starts, so now I'll run you through the grid as I get the tyres up and everything I need. There we go then. So we've got a very mixed bag of tyres. Dax is starting at the front with his soft tyres on. Oscar is in second on mediums. His teammate going alternate on the softs in third place. Tribe will be in fourth, looking to make a march on the medium tyres, and Rayman is in fifth, right behind him. Cobalt on a softer compound, looking to try and take advantage of them in a medium sandwich of Waitsy and Pricey in seventh and eighth. Vapor Trench, after struggling at the end of the race after making a big mistake, is starting in ninth. Then it comes to McLaren Duro on alternate strategies as well in 10th and 11th. Bowers in 12th place with Carl and Rob in 13th. The two Racing Points stuck so close together in the feature race now start 14th and 15th, with Noah Jones starting 16th. James Dovey, after his brilliant finish, is now in 17th. Kazakhs takes 18th. Silly Sly Guy just has a little edge above Netsky, both on medium tyres, in 19th and 20th. Jay Wizzy is back in. He's saying AI might be messing up. Someone else just left the session. I can't remember who it was. Either way, we have a couple of disconnects. As they come to the line, we see a lovely picture of the very fragile wheel bearings of the Haas. Not entirely sure how Tribe's got there in the Red Bull, but Joe Wizzy's having some issues. Where is he? Can't take over on formation on that. Okay. Well, hopefully he can get back in the race. It's a shame if he can't. I'd love to see him race and try and get himself into the points. But we have yellow flags. No, we don't. We have green ones. Oh dear. Are we going to have a race? That's the question. At a minute, it's not looking promising. The driver's sat on the grid, doing nothing. And I'm pretty sure this is what happens when someone disconnects on the formation lap. It causes a standstill. And I think we're going to have a race restart here. Unfortunately. Yeah, it's not looking too promising, unfortunately. And drivers have already started backing out, which means we are going for a race restart. And yeah, that's that. So that's another delay, unfortunately, guys. Apologies for that. We will be waiting yet again. Yep, we'll be restarting, so wait for an invite and I'll get back to you in just a minute as I try and sort a couple of extra things out for you. Okay, guys, we're back. We're back in the lobby. It took its time to get this sprint race started, but hopefully now's the time. Everyone is in. I believe the custom grid is being sorted now, and we should, fingers crossed, be underway in just a couple of moments' time. Sorry for the delay. It is what it is. And that is what you get when you play an online game with people from all over the world. Disconnects happen, and that's going to be part of it. Hopefully this doesn't bring with it anything different to what we were going to have the first time around. But we are nearly ready now. As we received just a few what we invited, just in case of a disconnect. All the drivers are in place and ready to go. It will soon be lights out here at Silverstone, but for now, it's just a waiting game. Right, we're ready to go. We're ready to go. The green ticks are coming in thick and fast, which means the drivers are just as eager. Vapor Trench flashing his tick, just to be a little bit irritating. But you know what? Let him be. So, it is finally sprint race time. Soft and medium was a shout. We'll see if the drivers choose that same choice of tyres they chose the first time around. Just waiting for Prentice now. There we go. All drivers are ready to go. Looking for good action here. I'm looking for good action. I'm sure they are too, as we're now waiting for players. And that's the black screen, which means loading in to Silverstone. Hopefully for the final time, as we look to get this round 4 sprint race underway. Again, 27.5 kilograms of fuel is the maximum allowed. No more than that. You're allowed less, of course. And I'm sure the drivers will not forget to put their setups on, because that would be a disaster. The pit crews don't look too busy sat there on their chairs. So any work that has been done to the cars must be being done by the drivers themselves. The crowd, look, as you guys can see, getting ready for some action, clapping in the air, all together. Look at that, it's all in sync. It's almost as if they're computerized, almost as if they're inputted by a code in the game. Oh wait, they are. They're overlooking the Hamilton Straight, raring to go. It's been a while since they've seen some action now, and I'm in their boat. Bring me some racing. Bring you some racing. This race hopefully will not disappoint. The drivers are readied up, or should be readying up now. 15 seconds remaining. We will now see who will get to the edge come the start of the sprint race. We saw Silly Sly Guy make a move down the inside of Netsky into turn 1. And since that very moment they chopped and changed, but both of them will now start at the back of the grid. We've had no disconnect so far, which is very good to see, which means we should get underway quite cleanly on the formation lap. We will put on the tyres, and it is the same. Oh no, Netski's gone for soft tyres this time. So maybe there was an insight there into what some of the people else have gone for, which got in the minds of other people. Prentice now on the soft as well as Rappel, so both on the same strategy. The Alfa Romeos are still both on alternate ones. I don't have a good enough memory to know what the other drivers chose last time out as well. That will have to do. But yeah, drivers just bringing it through the field. Alfa Romeo in a very good place to score points after a disappointing feature race for the pair of them. Dax then will be leading the way through at the start phase. Be interesting to see if we have just as clean a start as we did last time for the feature, because that was a brilliant start from all drivers. Bit of chaos between one driver coming out of Cops. Oscar ended up in the wall, but he's in a good position not to do that this time. And hopefully we will get underway in about 30 seconds or so time. Watch out for Eklund off the start. The only driver in the top 8 on the soft tyres. Hopefully he can, it would be good to see him try and fight his way through. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if his teammate battles that one. Well, just lets him go past because he knows that he's on the alternative strategy. But at the start of the race, the cars are heavy. And it means that the cars aren't at that ultimate performance, so those tyres will be worn a lot quicker than they normally would. So here we go then. We're getting ready for the start. Green light has been waved. We're now ready for the start. Not many particularly great camera angles here. You can hear the lights, you can see the clutch. And we are underway at the British sprint race here in CSGB. It seems that Dax has kept it wide. I can't see anything. Down the inside goes one of the Alfa Romeos, but Dax keeps the lead. There's a Ferrari off at the back. That looks to seem to be Bowers. He is in the gravel. So is Carwin Robb, unfortunately. It's a very, very tight here. Netski and Seaside Guy not making any moves at the moment. Just the cars behind. Vapor Trench and Dovey touch. More yellow flags behind. Carwin Robb goes round. Dax keeps the lead then into turn 1. Any movements going on behind. There's contact between the McLaren of Rappel and Tryby. A lot of chopping and changing of positions. Too much to keep up with at the minute. And Renault Priority goes through. Vapor Cobalt gains a position. Prentice dropping back. It's very tight back there all the way through the grid. We've had 1 or 2 casualties along the way. Other than that, there's a move here. Max going down the inside of Maggots. Not quite. Oh, there's a racing point gone off. That will be Jay Wizzy. He's off. No wing damage though, surprisingly. He has kept it together. Too many cars in a small area. And that is another casualty to add to the list on lap 1. But still no safety car or virtual safety car at the moment. Scroll through here. No moves just yet. It's a bit tight through here. As Vapor Trench keeps it on the track and keeps it clean. What is going on? Here we go then. Rappel making a move down the inside. I can't see. There it is. Making a move down the inside of Eklund. Is Oscar winning? It says he can't be a lap behind, surely. So, but here goes Rappel down the inside. Will he make it stick? It's very tight, but it's can't quite get the pace in the exit. That's contact with Ekelund. And, oh, bit of switch there from Dax. Dax is in the wall. Kept it clean. Keep it clean on the release, please. And he does. So that's another car off within 2 laps. Very tight. Prentice gains a position as well, as does everyone above him on Dax. And that pressure just getting to him ever so slightly. Will Rappel be able to make a move here on the Alfa Romeo? We have more yellow flags behind. That's a Red Bull going round. That may be Dovey. In fact, it is Dovey. And your F2 commentating pair have had a terrible start. But it's an Alfa Romeo 1-2 as we come around to start the 3rd lap, which means DRS will be enabled. Oscar leads from his teammate Ekelund. And Rappel's putting on a show. There's been a crash back here between Kazakhs and Vapor. And they've collided again. I'm not entirely sure what's happened. It doesn't look great back there. Netsky also must have damage as well. He's got a new wing rating, so he must have got caught up in that too. So there's a lot more action and a lot more incidents happening at the start of this sprint race than there was last time out. Netsky has a wing damage, so unnecessarily for him. That's going to impede him again in the sprint race. And he's got a job to do now to try and win this one. Rappel though, the front 3 slightly pulled away then. Tribe is under pressure from Rayman, who is going to try and make up for his teammates' misfortune for the AlphaTauri boys. They normally do this. Normally when one makes a mistake and one drops down the grid, the other one takes the points. It's normally Netsky on top, I should expect, where Rayman does a very good job. Right behind. Not so many things happening through Magus and Beck, etc. Respect. Car and Rob picking up a penalty as they now exits Chapel, and it's a great run here from IMAX. Force wide, he's all the curb. He should get this move done, you would expect, on the inside line. As Vapor fights it, but not well enough, and IMAX moves up a position. Oscar's into the pit lane then, it seems, and Ekelund jumps into the lead early on then. Oscar decided to pit, as does Pricey. That might be wing damage for the Renault driver. But Rappel is followed here, following Ekelund, it seems. There are a few more drivers into the pits. Karen Robb goes in. He had a bit of a tangle a couple of laps ago. Tribe not close enough just yet, but is Jay Prentice looking to make a move? The McLaren then on Tribe. He goes to the inside. He darts down the inside. Tribe had the outside line, which will turn into the inside line here. Will he try and stick it on those soft tyres? Jay Prentice ran the outside. Not enough grip, it seems, to Tribe defends his position well, but will only slow him down and cause a bigger gap to Rayman ahead. Rayman will not mind seeing that on his inside mirrors. And Vapor Cobalt makes a move on Dax. Dax trying to fight his way back up the grid after leading the way. City Sly Guy slowly work his way up the grid as well from 19th, so he's gained 10 positions already, so a good start from him. Prentice all over the back of Tribe. He loves to run low wings, does Jay Prentice, so he should cannon past, and the superior grip of the soft tyres means he got the better exit, and that's 4th place for Prentice there. But Tribe is going to fight it back round the outside of the third to last corner. Later on the brakes there, just about avoids the back rear twice of Jay Prentice, but Jay Prentice swoops across and keeps his position. Ekelund and Rappel will not mind that, as they're doing the soft to medium strategy. We see 3 more drivers into the pits. Silly Sly Guy jumps in, as does Noah and Waitsy, so they'll be going onto the soft tyres, taking them to the end. It's getting close here in the middle of the field. DRS train happening. Tribe pulls over, and wherever Tribe goes, IMAG will follow. And Vapor Cobalt just trying to take advantage of a little mistake, but nothing happening ahead of him. And he keeps 7th place, gets close there to the inside rear right tyre of IMAG's, but no contact made, fortunately, for the 2 of them. Rappel now getting close to Ekelund now through Maggots and Beckett's. As he clips the corners of Maggots and Beckett's, the apexes take a battering here because they can. They're very flat, and the exit here digs up a bit of dirt, sprayed across. Rappel now will have DRS. Eklund got the better of Maggotts and Beckett, but down the hanger straight, Rappel takes the lead of the sprint race. As Eklund jumps into the pit lane, so he's going for an undercut then on the McLaren ahead of him. He will go on to the medium tyres, taking them all the way to the end. Rainman follows him in, which means Jay Prentice will stay out an extra lap, as well as his teammates. So one of these two will be going around yet again. There's no chance they will be double stacking. Rainman, Cobalt, Dax, Vapor Trench. You see a whole array of cars into the pit lane. Tribe staying out with his penalty at the minute. Not too far behind IMAGs on the soft tyres. So Tribe be in a good position then to make those medium tyres work. See if he can gain any more positions. Oscar gets back up into 5th position in the pit lane. And Eklund comes out right behind him on his brand new medium tyres. So the Alfa Romeos are looking solid as we speak. And they're in 1st and 2nd, followed by the Renaults of Pricey and Silly Sly Guy, who have done an amazing job to get there. So they've done undercuts and they've worked a treat. Although Pricey is under Sly Guy's under a lot of pressure from behind. 4 cars in this train. Trying to get him and Pricey points here. If he can give a little bit of gap to Pricey, he knows he's got the pace to escape the cars behind, but I'm sure he'll want the points for himself just as much. We have to see McLaren's leading the way though, as Rappel pulls into pit lane first time around. IMAX will follow Rappel. Jane Prentice has to stay out. He's forced to stay out because there's no need in stacking. IMAX picked up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. It's so hard to slow the car down for the British pit lane. And it's only a 37-mile-an-hour one compared to a 49-mile-an-hour on the majority of tracks. Can catch a few people out. Jay Prentice now though does have a nice lead of 10.5 seconds. Well, it's growing by the second. So he may reap the rewards of staying out longer. As we see now, it's going to be close on the exit. And the McLaren of Rappel splits the two Alfa Romeos. So a good pit stop from Rappel. Eklund must have lost a little bit of time there on his outlap, meaning Rappel has split the pair of them. Hopefully they can work together now to try and make things right. The Renault pair fighting one another. Seems like it goes down the inside of Pricey. Pricey's not going to fight that surely. No, he doesn't. That's car number 69. Whips down the inside of Brooklyn and keeps the position. Hoping now, I'm sure, Sly Guy to back up the pack behind Pricey. But Pricey will want that position back. Rappel and Oscar will be very close coming out of Maggotts and Beckett and Chapel. You can make a lot of time up on the drive in front of you if you get it right compared to them. And it seems to me that may have happened again. Prentice goes into the pit lane. 21-second advantage. He enters. Rappel down the inside. Takes 2nd position back. And a nice job. Well done yet again from himself. Where will Prentice come out then? So Prentice is in the pit lane. He's been there for a while. It's going to be tight down the inside. And also got a great view there of the rear end of the McLaren. As you can see the pit window open. Prentice is going to come out too far behind these lot. So he's done a good job. It's going to be tight where Prentice comes out. He's going to be right behind the big pack. Or right in between the big pack, I should say. And he comes out in the points. But he were fresh tyres in the cars in front. Those softs won't die off too quickly. And I'm sure these lot will want to make a move on one another. 3 attempts the gap between Rainman and Pricey, but Pricey sticking it right behind his teammate in 5th position. And keeping it nice and steady. As Netsky moving up again, up into 13th place. I'm sure we want to get in the points. There's only 5 laps to go now. And time is running out for this championship leader. Rappel, though, is taking the race away on his own. He's putting in a great performance here. Netsky picks up 3-second penalty. And we have a racing point round. That is IMAX around the Maggotts of Beckett section. I hope he hasn't taken anyone with him. He is facing the wrong way. He needs to turn around quickly before he gets disqualified. And he's got disqualified. I called it as soon as it happened. And unfortunately, he got disqualified for going the wrong way. As Rayman and Noah Jones are tight. Rayman goes around the outside of the third to last corner. And that's a great move. And that is a solid move to hold that position. Noah Jones just not late enough on the brakes on the inside. Could probably afford to go a good few meters later, but chooses not to and stays in 7th place for the time being. Noah Jones is close to Rayman. Going around the outside. Again, Rayman pops his car in the right place and will stay there for now. We're still side by side as we go around Cops. Rayman still stays ahead and will stay ahead. We'll see if the Alfa Romeos switch out of Chapel. Rayman picks up a penalty, so that could be vital in a battle for good points here. Oscar then calls the inside. Eklund goes round the outside of Stowe. Gets the move done. On the medium tyres, Bowers picks himself up a penalty as well. And now it's going to be a big charge from Eklund to try and get onto the back of Rappel, who's done a fantastic job to get himself into first place and stay there. So Sly Guy up to 4th from 19th. So an amazing race for him so far. Top stuff from him. Rayman staying in a similar position, and Pricey just holding this lot up now to allow Silly Sly Guy to just jump onto the back of the people in front. But Rayman's going to fancy him here. Will Pricey defend earlier? I imagine he will. The ERS already open for Rayman, and he's closing in, and he's already passed him before the corners arrived. And down the inside goes Rayman through Brooklyn, and that's 5th position. But he needs to get a move on to get away if he wants to hold that position with the penalty he has picked up. Pricey will fire back though. He wants to try and score as many points as he can. Because he'll be under pressure from behind. And every place matters in the sprint race as there are less points available. Dax, 3-second penalty. Will he come back at him then? The Renault driver. Will he get the exit on Rayman? It seems to be very equidistant going through all the way through there. Here comes Pricey then. Slowly followed by Noah Jones. He's not quite close enough. Rayman, he's gone deep there. That may allow Noah Jones to come around the inside. He's close on the exit. He's going to dive down the inside, is Noah. The Welshman looking for a dive. Down the inside is contact. You heard it. Don't think there's any damage. And that's just good racing. It's just side-by-side racing. He's going for a move. He's seen a gap. But nothing that causes an accident. At the end of the day, it's just good stuff. Vapor Cobalt won't mind watching this from the back. Any mistakes, any crashes will go his way. And he'll reap the reward, as will Jay Prentice looking on with his fingers crossed, I'm sure. James Dovey picks up a penalty, it seems. So Netsky and Dovey, 2 people that didn't get penalties last time, have a penalty here. There is a fight going on for 13th position. Side by side coming up the Wellington straight. There's a contact. Kaz's been pushed wide. He's picked up a penalty for that, so that could be removed. But currently sat in 13th place. It will not mean too much on the scoreboard. There's Noah Jones then. A big train here from 10th up to 5th. Noah Jones will be on the back of Pricey this time. Pricey struggled a bit under pressure going through here last time, and you can see he's slowing down a little bit earlier than Noah Jones was. Noah Jones having a dirty air to contend with. Will either of these be able to make a move? I don't think Pricey's going to be able to make a move on Rayman just yet. Oscar picks up a penalty. That could be big in the battle for the podium positions. And not much action happening. No movement happening through Stowe this time. Drivers need to pick their braking points correctly without crashing there. And that is a very much a deceleration zone from well over 180 mile an hour down to around 50. This, though, is flat. Jay Whitty spinning in the pit lane, and he's retired. He's called it a day. As Noah Jones got to go running outside. Turn 3. They're still side by side. He's got to turn into the inside for the Ferrari driver. And can he keep it? Price is still there on his outside. These two are side by side again. Who's over the DRS? That may answer the question. They both do. So it's a pure race for who's got the lower wings. And it looks like the Ferrari may have edged it into the inside. And he does. The outside goes to Pricey. They're still battling side by side, so they're not giving this one up. And Noah Jones eventually gets the move done and takes 6th position. So great racing from the pair of them. I'm sure Pricey will have something to say about that, because this battle was really for 5th position, because Rayman has that penalty, as does Cobalt behind. Prentice will know this, so he will be able to just keep it clean and pick up a position as well, as will Dax, I'm sure. Rayman, though, will not mind these lot fighting, but Cobalt has closed the gap on Pricey as well. So Pricey dropped back once, he may drop back again. The yellow flags are for Jay Wizzy's car coming out the pit lane. Noah Jones protects the inside, it seems. No moves done. And they stay as they are for now. So both racing points out of the race. Unfortunate for them. Not going to change gear there, Noah. Oh, it's kicking off back here. I don't know what's just happened. Prentice has got past Pricey. Pricey's all over the show at the moment, all under all sorts of pressure. Is it going to be moved down the inside from the Haas? It is. And he gets down, and Pricey moves back again. The inside line's got to be his, though, if he can delay later on the brakes. Good racing, good clean racing. The Haas may have the exit. He'll definitely have DRS. The Williams wants to get involved as well. Vapor Cobalt. There's action everywhere at the moment in his midfield. I didn't even notice we're on the final lap of the race. So this is why this action's happening. The Williams goes round. He's drifted around that corner. That was incredible from the Williams. Contact forces the drift. Look how many cars are involved at a minute. It's side-by-side action. Wherever you look at the moment, Netsky may fancy a point. Anyone may fancy a point at this rate. It looks like it's Rappel's race to win. It's side-by-side here through everyone. Rayman, Netsky's getting involved. The Haas is gone wide. Penalties are, I believe, all 3 seconds. Pricey leads the way from Magazabex. It's side by side between Netsky and Cobalt. Netsky gets his way through into the points then, it seems. And Netsky looking to make more positions up on Cobalt. Netsky then coming up the inside of Cobalt. There is pressure all over Silly's guy. Silly Sligo down the inside of the third to last corner. Makes the move. Will he make it stick? He doesn't matter if he makes it stick, because he'll still get third position anyway. But Rappel crosses the line in first place, wins the sprint race. Ekelund takes second. Silly Sligo, what a performance from him. Oscar takes fourth. Rayman takes 5th. Action everywhere. I try to keep up as I can. Noah Jones takes 4th ahead of Jay Prentice. He gets up all the way up to 6th place, so he did well. Rayman dropped down a couple of positions. Not too badly for him. Good finish. Pricey gets 8th. Vapor Cobalt ahead of his Vapor teammate of Trench. Netsky in 11th place. So out of the points, unfortunately for him, after a late burst there. Getting involved in the action. Tribe takes 12th. And Waity, Javi, Dax, Bowers, Colin, Rob, all out of the points. But a fantastic job from Rappel. As soon as he got in the lead after his pit stop, there was no stopping him. Up 9 positions. Fantastic drive from him. Ekelund takes 2nd. As I show this screen, guys, please vote for your driver of the day in the comments section. I'd like to do a driver of the race. More like, I'd like to do that for every race we can. You see Silly Sligo up 16 places. Oscar down 2 to 4th. Noah Jones up 11. So he's had 2 great races there, Noah Jones. I think. Unless I've just completely waffled. Rayman down 2. Pricey stays in 8th place. Cobalt down 3. And Trench down 1. Netsky made up 9 positions. But was saying that, no places were gained. No points were gained. Vote for Silly for driver of the day. I think it's between 2 guys, really. The game has given it to Silly. I think it's between Silly and, of course, your race winner, Rappel. Either way, it's been a fantastic, fantastic race from everyone. Action all the way up until they crossed the line. That last lap was definitely one to watch again. Great action. I saw a Williams going sideways there, holding the drift to keep the position. That was something I think they will be proud of, and we'll definitely make a highlights reel somewhere on a Twitter page, I'm sure. But it was an easy win in the end for Rappel once he got clear. 2 seconds was the gap from Ekelund. 10th on the grid to first. took the win. Silly was in third. Oscar took fourth. Noah Jones followed by Jay Prentice. Them two also making up good positions. Rainman dropped down a bit, but he gets points for his team, unlike Netsky, who was unfortunate not to get any points this time around. Prize he takes 8th. 9th was Cobalt, and 10th was Vapor Trench. Everyone else, unfortunately, outside the points. Rappel happy with the win in his debut race, and I sure would be as well. A great few races here at Britain. I do thank you all for watching. Please tune in tomorrow at 7 o'clock as well if you do have time for the F2 race. You'll be joined by Bowers and James Dovey on the CSGB YouTube channel. I have been Mr. B-Boy Worm. Thank you for joining me. And yeah, much appreciated. Like, subscribe, and that has been it from CSGB round 4 here at Britain. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next Monday.